What is going on, everyone? Tim from Tier Fawn Orbital. So today I would like to talk about an install that I completed on a Wattos Junkyard Lasermaster. This is the first time that I have seen a hilt, this hilt, in person. I don't know why I can't talk today. This is the first time I've seen this hilt come across my desk. And wow, this is an awesome hilt. And for the price point of this hilt is a steal. It is still available on Wattos Junkyard website. It's just over $100. You got to pay for shipping, but just over $100, this is a steal. They give you different lenses for the switches. There's like different color options, brass and copper, thin neck. You also get aluminum parts for the thin neck. There's an aluminum option, multiple parts. It's fully modular. You can take this grip off and wrap it if you want. I mean, this is an awesome hilt, and for just over $100, it's an absolute steal. I am probably gonna pick one of these up for myself. I'll probably like wrap it and weather it, but it's a steal. This is an absolute steal. So I had a lot of fun doing this one. There's plenty of room in the grip to do a chassis with some greebie work. So I do want to come into Fusion and talk about the chassis, and then obviously we'll do the whole thing, right? We'll do the whole deal. We'll come up top, talk about how to use it, and then we'll put a blade in it, and then we'll be on our way. Okay, so let's come into Fusion. Okay, so here is the chassis. Went with a fully removable chassis on this one. So we'll start with the greebie panel. There is one greebie panel on one side of the chassis. This was done in resin. Printed this off in resin and then just kind of slapped it on the side of the chassis. On this side of the chassis, there is some tube work. I utilized this like corrugated tube as my wire path. Okay, so down in here, it's essentially just like a hollow tube, and that's where I bring my leads up to the board. Okay. Battery trays here, obviously. Around the other side, we do have some like rib work along the spine of the chassis. Proffice board does sit in this tray. It kind of slides up underneath this lip. There is a kill switch here. I did add some extra accents, right? So there are two rectangular LEDs in this area. And I did add a square red outline LED. I found these on AliExpress. They're usually used for like model car brake lights, but I put it in this build. I've used them before in chassis. I will put that link in the description. Something that I've been absolutely terrible at is putting links for the stuff that I use in the description of the video. So I will make sure to put the link for that in the video. I will also be adding this chassis to my online chassis index after this video as well. So I will put the link for what I use for that in the video, but that's just like an extra kind of unique LED that I put in there, okay? Up top is a 6-rail PCB. This is from Shtok and KR Sabers. And that is it, right? I did put 2 red button tactile switches on this chassis. They're not specifically necessary, right? I don't know. When I do have room, I like doing this because, you can kind of quote unquote use the chassis when it's outside of the hilt. It's kind of redundant, right? Because you don't have an emitter on this thing. You don't have light, other than the LED accents, you don't have lights on it. But I don't know. I just kind of do that because there was room to do it, right? But it's not specifically necessary. So that's it, right? That's the chassis. Let's come up top. All right, so here it is. The Lasermaster from Wattos Junkyard. Absolutely awesome hilt. Like, again, I can't stress this enough. For the price point, this is a great hilt. If you're looking for a hilt to add to your collection, I can't recommend this hilt enough. It's for $100, for just over $100. I think it's like $108 on their website. I think they're shipping from Great Britain, so it's if you're buying this from the States, you're gonna have to spend a little bit of money for shipping. I don't know how much that's gonna be, but still, like, it's a great hilt for that price. So yeah, awesome hilt. So very unique hilt too, right? So we've got some lenses for our switches up top here. The first thing that I thought of when I did an assessment of this hilt was that I wanted to get these switches lit. And I knew that that was going to be tricky because they are so close together, right? Shtok does have a switch, a NeoPixel switch PCB, and I knew that that was going to be my only option, right? But because they are so close together, I was afraid I was going to get some bleed through. So what I did was I created a special like upper PCB holder, because I knew I needed a PCB holder because it was going to be a removable chassis. So in that upper PCB holder, there is some indentations for those Shtok like pixel PCBs, and they're kind of offset like this, the two switch PCBs, and they're just separated enough so that I have a wall in between them, so there's not bleed through, not too much bleed through anyhow, right? So we get, you know, independent lighting. And the way that these two lenses are designed, they're offset as well. So these switches are really keenly, the switch plungers are really keenly designed. And you get a number of different colors, right? So you get red, green, clear, yellow, blue, and that's it, I believe. And you get two of each. Pretty cool option, right? But just a great hilt, and you also get an aluminum thin neck as well. I just happened to think that the copper and the bronze looked really, really good. So let's talk about how to use this guy, okay? So the grip does unthread. You can unscrew the grip if you want, but that is not how you use the hilt. You get at your chassis by unthreading this pommel down here, okay? So unthread your pommel. Here is the chassis. So I did my usual pass of pewter rub and buff on this one. Did paint some of the accents. Here is our Proffice board. Kill switch is here. Here is our battery tray. There are those two tactile switches. All right, so let's get a battery. On this build, the spring side is towards the speaker, so you want to take the flat part of your battery, put that down towards the speaker. Hit your kill switch. There are those two rectangular LEDs and that square red outline LED. Okay. So once you get your battery in, all you have to do is slide your chassis into the hilt. Doesn't matter which orientation you put it in. Thread your pommel on all the way until it stops. Okay, and you're ready to go. So there are those two lit switches. This is probably going to get washed out on camera. I set these to animate kind of like Luke's red and green arrows. All right, and that's it. Let's come down to the bottom. Just a really cool feature having those switches lit. I knew that I wanted to get those lit. Something I did notice though, they do rattle from the sound. You can hear that? So if I put my thumb over them, they don't rattle. It's a good sounding hilt though. Let's see what else we put on here.
I'm Cal Kestis.
Great sounding hilt. A lot of resonance in this.
Don't talk back to your elders, child.
let's put a blade in it. Okay, so 1-inch blade holder. There is a nice chunky M4 set screw around front here. There are actually holes for the set screw in every other, there's a threaded hole in every other hole around the emitter here that you can use as your set screw if you want, right? So tighten down that set screw and you're ready to go. It's a nice feeling hilt. Whoops. I activated color wheel on accident. Let's see what else we put on here. So, if you're looking at the switches, the switch to your left is your aux, switch to your right is your main. So the red switch is aux, green is main. Man, this is a good sounding hilt. Let's see what else we put on here. The buttons are so close together, it's hard not to activate color wheel. One more.
What is it? Father's lightsaber. This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight.
It's a great sounding hilt. Those switches do rattle a little bit. I didn't notice that. Like I got my thumb over them right now. And now I don't have my thumb over them. Now I have my thumb over them. So that's just something to keep in mind. Ow. Good sounding hilt though. So, that is it. That is the Lasermaster from Wattos Junkyard. Really, really fantastic, fantastic hilt. Awesome hilt. Awesome that we can get these switches lit. It's a great sounding hilt. Man, I mean, there's just so much resonance down in here, and you wouldn't expect that with the pommel being so shallow. Man. It's a great hilt. I'm getting one for myself. And it's also one of those hilts that's just like great for, it looks like it's great for modifications, right? It would probably look great with a wrap. It would probably look great etched or weathered. So awesome hilt. Awesome hilt. This one was a lot of fun. So to the customer, thank you very much for trusting me with your hilt. If anyone has any questions about this particular install, please do not be a stranger. And with that being said, may the force be with you always. Have a good one, everybody.